Hey guys, so this is the second video on my channel. Today I'm going to cover negative self-talk during your next run or workout. You might even find some of the tips I'm going to share helpful for daily life, so I just wanted to share them with you. So before I started my running journey, I used to do a lot of high intensity interval training, which with intervals you're doing 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. It's just a lot easier on me personally. It's a lot easier on me mentally to do that type of workout than it is to do a run, because running is a lot more of a mental sport. And I definitely found that out. It's usually pretty challenging for me to push through the first few miles of my run, especially when I'm doing a long run. I'm like, it's brutal sometimes, those first few miles. So, they say that running is 90% mental and 10% of it's physical, and I kind of believe that. So I just wanted to share some of the tips that I've learned to push through those first few miles, to push through a long run, whatever it may be that you're struggling with. So let's see. Tip number 1 is to recognize the fear. And by recognizing the fear, we are removing its power over us, and we can have a clearer perspective to deal with those fears. So that's kind of a simple one, recognizing the fear. And second would be to analyze your fears, looking for evidence for and against those fears. Are they really true? Are they realistic? And maybe they will. Maybe you will find that they are a little true, or but oftentimes our fears are not very realistic. So, I would suggest, whether it be a mental list or a physical list, to make a list of evidence, for and against your fear. And I would definitely recommend talking with a friend and kind of working through that with someone. And I wouldn't do it alone, because it's easy for us to have a marred perspective. So I think it's also important to note that how we talk to ourselves really does impact our performance. An example would be, I've had some bad runs. I mean, we all do. But I've had some pretty bad runs, and usually those runs start out with me feeling like I can't do it. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not motivated. I am a bad runner. I'm too slow. Usually it starts out that way. So I can tell from the beginning that this is going to be a bad run, because I am feeling so negative about myself and my running. So I think it's important that we realize that when we're feeling weighed down mentally, that our bodies are going to feel that weight. Our bodies are going to feel dragged down and heavy and sore and tired, because that's how we're feeling mentally too. So I think it's easy to become a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I am totally guilty of that. So don't do it. Don't be a victim, guys. So step 3, which is actually the final step, is to transform your thinking and reframe your thoughts. Easier said than done, I know. So start talking positively to yourself. Even when you're not feeling positive, start talking positively to yourself. Say, I'm a fabulous runner. I am fast. Even if you're not, right? I love running, and look how much progress I've made over the past however long you've been running. And I wanted to share a fact. According to the History Channel, a documentary that they did called The Brain, it's estimated that the average person talks to themselves, inward. They have an inward dialogue with themselves of 300 to 1,000 words per minute. That's crazy. I mean, that's a lot of self-talk in a day. So if all of that self-talk is negative, then, I mean, it's no wonder that we're struggling. So the more positive self-talk we engage in, the more, the less our fears are going to be. And so, we want to make self-talk a habitual thing. We want to make positive self-talk a habitual thing, and so that it becomes our default instead of the negative thoughts, that we let slither in. So I want to give an example of how to change your thoughts, to change your thinking, kind of like what it looks like. So for me, fear that just a negative thought that I often have is, I'm too slow, I'll never be faster. So what does it look like to flip that thought? So how I would flip it would be to say, I'm a consistent runner. The more I train, the faster I'll be. And it's so true. The more training you put in, the faster you'll be. The more, training doesn't always look like running every day or running more miles. And I actually have an article on my blog about that, that rest is sometimes best, and rest is still training. I find that after a good rest day, I tend to be faster, and I tend to feel better physically and mentally about myself. So you need to give yourself plenty of rest, but I'll save that for another video. But there's also an article on my blog about rest is best, and tips for beginner runners, or the aspiring runner. So if you would like to look at that, then you can go to the link in the description. So I just want to say that I struggle daily with overturning negative thoughts that I have. But I'm resolved to help other people, other people who are placing limitations on themselves, to just to stop. I mean, it's not healthy, and we don't need to be placing those limitations on ourselves. And when I am feeling like the negative thoughts creeping in, I often will say to myself, I'm thankful for my strong, capable body and what it can do, and I am putting the training in and putting the miles in, and I'm being consistent, and those are the important things: being consistent and getting the proper, there's different types of training that you need to put in to see good results. And I can go over a few of those types of training in a different video, but I just really wanted to encourage people, because we all struggle with negative self-talk, and we don't have to. And I just want everybody to feel encouraged, and to know that they're not alone, and that there are ways to deal with that negative self-talk, and that you don't have to be stuck in that rut. So I hope this video helps somebody, and if you like the video, then hit the like button, and subscribe if you'd like more videos like this, and I will give the link to my blog in my description. But I hope everybody has a great day, and get rid of that negative self-talk, guys. It's just weighing you down. It's not helping you.